Okay, call the meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Watson.
Here.
Lynch.
Here.
Gehrig.
Yes.
And I am also present.
Okay. We have before us the minutes of the July 28th special meeting, the July 28th regular meeting, and the July 28th public hearing. Are there any questions or comments on that? Additions or deletions? Okay, if not, I would make a motion to approve the July 28th special meeting minutes, July 28th regular meeting minutes, and the July 28th public hearing minutes as presented.
Second.
Gehrig.
Yes?
Watson.
Yes.
Lynch.
Yes.
I almost said Neil.
Okay, we have
I'll answer to both.
We have before us the bills, the financial reports, and the items on the payment listing or payment.
Payment list, everything's pretty much boilerplate, monthly, regular bills.
Questions? Okay, this is moment to
The treasurer
scrutinize these. Go ahead.
treasurer of state is for the for the 24-25 audit that they're doing. And Horseman had a couple jobs come due.
Well,
That's the payment listing, and as far as the reports, our month-to-date revenue is $8,535.83, with a year-to-date revenue of $1,123,134.30, and our month-to-date expenditures were $16,840.75, and year-to-date expenditures are $751,065.19.
just one question while we're on these financials. Did the county say when they would be making their second half disbursement?
I'm expecting it any day.
All right, that's the question.
Property tax?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm expecting it any day. It's usually mid-August, so.
There's no questions on anything. I would make a motion to approve the financial reports and the payment of items on the payment listing as specified in documents provided by the fiscal officer.
Second.
Gehrig.
Discussion? No discussion. Gehrig, yes.
Watson.
Yes.
Lynch.
Yes.
I have one more item under financials. The $34.79 that the auditors questioned in the custodial fund for the 22-23 audit and gave us a finding on. After several attempts to remedy this with them, once they made the finding on the audit, I messaged them and I thanked them for making it a point of contention, because I've been asking them all along, how do I get rid of this money? And they just kept pushing it off. So I very nicely said, thank you for making this a point of contention so that something might get done to eliminate it. And I said that it's not in use. It was set up by the former fiscal officer. We have been handling it as UAN told us to. I have no idea where the $34.79 came from, where it needs to be transferred to. It's just been sitting there for years. They've done other audits with it sitting there and have never said anything. Please advise how this could be remedied. And they replied to talk to our prosecutor.
Oh.
So I contacted the prosecutor's office, and she was not very happy, because she was like, why are they telling me to do their job regardless? Because she's very thorough with what she does. She did contact a couple of other fiscal officers that she feels comfortable working with without mentioning our name. because she's very good about that as well, and asked for their expertise, and both of them explained that the custodial fund is dollars that come in for profit type dollars, like New Russia Township uses it for their hall rentals. So their suggestion was to bring it up in a meeting and pass a resolution so that we have a paper trail stating all of the above reasons, and to transfer the $34.79 out of the custodial fund into the general fund and be done with it. So I'm asking if you would entertain passing a resolution, which I typed up here. Move to transfer $34.79 out of custodial fund 9001 that were placed into that account in error by the prior fiscal officer, and transfer those funds into the general fund to clear the account per the Lorraine County Prosecutor's recommendation.
So moved.
Okay, second. Okay, motion been made and second. Any further discussion? One thing I will add is it's a bookkeeping. It's bookkeeping error here.
And all that documentation will be stapled to the resolution, so that even my emails to Barb and all those responses and all the responses from the auditor, so there'll be a book in my book when they come to audit again that this is how we handle it.
The auditor should have told you.
Huh?
The auditor should have told you, just like the prior auditor should have told you when they've been asked. But at least now it's done.
It's done. That's all I have, sir.
Okay, motion been made and seconded. No further discussion. Roll call?
Lynch?
Yes.
Fury?
Yes.
Watson?
Yes.
Okay, at this time, generally, we have a welcome and ask for audience concerns. However, there is no one in the audience, so at this time, we will move to the next item on the agenda. I have listing, we have a bid opening at 7:30. It's not 7:30 yet, so we'll move to the next item. Correspondence and announcements. I have one item to bring forward, and that would be received notice to all local governments on July 27th, 2026, the new entitlements for the 27 calendar year from the Budget Commission will be calculating the entitlement for $13,896,272 for local government revenue, also known as local government fund. And this meeting will take place on Monday, August 17th at 2026 at 11 a.m. Commissioners, 4th floor, meeting room B. I wanted to bring that up. That's on the local government fund, the distribution on that.
Yeah, Chris sent an email out with the information, as she does every year.
I would like to attend that, but I will be unable.
I'm there.
You
Yeah,
will.
and you were there the
You'll-
last time,
you'll be
because
there,
that's where we
Chris.
explained
I
what's
always
going
go.
on with the fire truck.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
I've been there before too, David. They're not real exciting meetings.
They are very quick and
Yeah.
not exciting.
Okay. Now, second item I have listed under correspondence, and that would be that on August 25th, 2026, the Lorraine County Commissioners set as a meeting to consider the Barron Type 2 annexation of 65.2559 acres. That will be before the Commissioners. I wanted to bring that up.
Yeah, David, 2 items on that is, one, if you so choose to go into executive session tonight, I can give you a summary of the proposals that were presented to the City of Elyria on August 3rd. Even though for all intents and purposes they were rejected. But if you want to get updated as to what that was, I can discuss that in executive session. Then also, we will need to schedule a special meeting to have an executive session with our legal counsel on this issue. And I've given you, Jeremy, I put a sheet there right here.
Okay.
On when I'm available. Obviously, we want to meet before the 25th. So I wasn't sure when you guys are available. I know that our meeting can start as early as 7:30 a.m. I'm really looking probably, Jeremy, more to you, not knowing what your schedule is since it varies, and then David, if you've got any of these times to fill in. There are only, of the dates I listed there, there's only 2 I can't meet at 7:30 because I already have 7:30 meetings scheduled in the morning.
Now, we need to meet with
Legal counsel.
legal counsel so that probably early is better. That's what I'm picking up.
It probably, but I know that I put down Friday this week, and hopefully she's available, but I know she's tied up quite a bit this week, but I think most of it's in the afternoon, so if we meet in the morning on Friday, she'll probably make it, but I told her I'd bring back 3 different days that you're available and let her pick.
Okay.
I can tell you right now, I'm not available on Friday.
So the
Friday's gonna be-
14th is out?
The 14th is out.
Okay.
I'm leaning toward Wednesday. I don't appear to have anything up myself on Wednesday.
I can do it early afternoon on Wednesday. I'm in the office 7:30 to 11:30.
Wednesday the 19th is one, and what time then, Jeremy? I've got, let's see, I've got to take my brother to an appointment at noon, and it's in Parma.
So, like between 1 and 4.
Okay. Let's see if I can get someone else to handle that then. So 1 to 4 on Wednesday, does that work for you? I need three days, David. Is 1 to 4 on
I
Wednesday
should
the
be
19th
open 1 to
work?
4.
Okay.
But do you have an exact time now, or you need that open right now?
No, because then we'll call the legal counsel and see what works for
Yeah,
her. So
yeah.
I just said I'll bring back 3 days with different times. So then how about on August 20th, which is a Thursday?
About the same time for me.
I'm trying to think when I got up that day. Something tells me I have things up. I know I have to take the cat to the vet, so let's put the kibosh on things in the morning.
Yeah, between 12 and 4 Thursday I should be open.
Thursday. 4. And how about Friday the 21st?
I'm in the office 9:30 to 3:30.
I would only in the morning. I'm only available in the morning.
Would 7:30 cut it too short for you then?
I'll have to make arrangements with the kids, but I could probably get them picked up and get here closer to 7:30.
And you'd have to leave at what time?
I'd have till at least 9. Yeah. Yeah, if we did like 8 on Friday. Give me a little more time. To get
You want
the
8
kids, but
o'clock?
The kids are starting school next week. I'm not sure what time they'll be leaving.
So
for
8
school,
o'clock
but-
on Friday?
Yeah.
Okay, and then the last one, David, is Monday, August 24th. That's the day before.
That's the fair.
Oh, that's a fair breakfast? Okay,
As far as I know, I'm open that day. I don't have anything else. That's the day before our next meeting.
okay.
I'm open on that day.
Mondays I do like close to 12 hours in the office.
Okay, so it's out.
Yeah,
Well,
unless
we
I-
got
unless
3
I
days.
squeeze in a
so
lunch break, yeah.
We've got Wednesday, August 19th, 1 to 4, Thursday, August 20th, 12 to 4, and Friday, August 21st, 8 to 9.
Yep.
Okay. So that's what I'll let you know, David, and then you can get it posted. Okay. Anything with that 8 to 9, it could be just
And
like
you're
the
gonna
last
talk-
time.
And
If
it
you
could be a
have to
little
leave early,
later.
you can.
Yeah, 9:15.
You're going to talk to the lawyer and everything.
Yeah.
Get that set up. All
Yeah,
right.
I'm gonna give her these 3 dates with times and let her tell us which one works in her schedule. Okay?
Okay, so we've
I did have a correspondence.
Okay,
I sent, just as I did the Budget Commission, I also sent out regarding the Lorraine County elected officials reception electronically, and it's also in your boxes. Will be held on Wednesday, August 26th from 4:30 to 6:30, and again, the information was emailed and it's in your mailbox.
Okay.
all right. Now, okay, what else? Correspondence. That's all I have to bring forward at this time. Jeremy, do you have anything to bring forward as far as correspondence?
No, sir.
Neil, do you have anything further to bring
I'll
forward?
do everything through my report, David,
You don't have it? Okay.
but I think you've covered most of the correspondence right now.
I could think of right now. Okay, moving on. Reports, ambulance service. Do we have anything further on the ambulance service?
No, nothing to report.
We don't have a meeting date, next meeting date.
I will tell you when we do, David.
All right. Well, you know
Leave it
what's...
up to the president of the board.
All right. As long as I got question marks there, I'm going to be asking.
Well, why don't you take the question mark off, and then you won't have to keep asking every time.
I don't want to. I like the question marks there. I think they add something to the agenda.
I just think it's a waste of time, David, but go ahead.
I don't think so. I think they're cute. Anyway, Sheriff's Department, we don't have a deputy in attendance.
We won't.
Why don't we take that
Okay.
off, David? I mentioned to you before that the community policing officer program was done away with.
I
So you are
understand.
not going to see one. So why don't you at least take this suggestion and take it off the agenda?
Perhaps I will.
Oh, good.
Perhaps
Well,
I
I got
will.
1 out of
But
2.
Perhaps I won't.
Pretty good for baseball.
Anyway, Fire Prevention Officer Chris Nyhart, not here. Zoning Inspector Ryan Valentin, I do not see Ryan as being present tonight to present a report. Zoning Commission, we don't have anything further to report on the Zoning Commission. They met, but don't have anything further. Nothing on the Zoning Board of Appeals. Road, Parks, and Cemeteries.
I have nothing to report. All regular maintenance is ongoing.
We have, under roads, we have Round 41 projects, Gray Bark and Oak Knoll.
You want to cover those now?
We might as well. I
Okay,
have
if you
them
go in your
listed.
packets, there'll be 3 prepared resolutions to pull out, one for Gray Bark, one for Oak Knoll, and one that says 2 mini grants.
Let's see where we're at here.
Let me know when you're ready, David.
Gray Bark, Oak Knoll, and mini grants. Is this one? Is this
Gray Bark is
one resolution on the mini grants?
Yes,
But it's for 2 mini grants.
it's 2 mini grants. But because of the way we have to enter things and work-wise with the Ohio Public Works Commission, those are 2 separate resolutions. So there's one for Gray Bark and there's one for Oak Knoll. And I did meet this past week with Morgan, our township administrator, to actually walk through how to complete these grants and how to try and put yourself in the best position in terms of scoring, yet also receiving some of the grant funds. These are competitive grants, no guarantee we'll get them. So what I did is I did the Gray Bark for the streets, or actually I did one for the streets and one for the mini grant, then let Morgan do the others, and she's pretty much got it down as far as where the decision making is to try and position us so that we might get funded on here. To get funded, realize the more grant money you ask for, the lower the score you get, and the total amount you ask for between grant and loan could lower your score. But what helps is that of the proportion you're asking for, if a higher percentage is loan, that improves your scoring based on the methodology that's used in District 9 that we're part of. So you can see with Gray bark is for, and you've got the map in here, for residence sections from 131 through 127. So if you look at the map, I don't have this available for display today. You can see the section of gray bark there, which also, where Kevin had selected this, includes 2 catch basins to be replaced. And when we get to the stormwater grant, you'll see the condition of those particular catch basins, since they'll actually have photos on them. So what we're proposing right now is that the grant, this total project is estimated $171,130. We're requesting grant funds of $33,370 and the loan fund of $33,370. So our total funding request is $66,740. So even though the loan gets paid back, the way OPWC looks at that is if they're providing those funds to us. So if you wanted that in terms of a percentage, that's 39% of the total project cost is what we would be requesting in loans and grants for OPWC right now. So it doesn't give us the maximum points, if you will, but to get the maximum points means we're paying almost the full cost of the project. So this will preserve some of our funds, and also since the engineer put this, the useful life for this particular road at 25 years, well, if you think about that, that's 4% a year. Chris right now is pretty close to 4% a year that she's earning right now. So when you actually, and there's no guarantee you'll earn that much in the future. But right now, rates have been pretty steady, and you can see the Fed's been pretty cautious, whether they raise rates, lower rates. It's like they're confused themselves and definitely confusing the public. But if you think of the time value of money, if we knew those rates were fixed at 4%, we would take 100% loan, because we'd actually be making money when you consider time value of money. But since we can't predict that, we're asking for 50% loan and 50% grant out of the 39% funding request for gray bark. So I'll leave it there, David, and I'll make a motion authorization to prepare and submit an application to participate in the Ohio Public Works Commission, state capital improvement, local transportation improvement programs, and execute the contracts as required for the gray bark project.
I will second. Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? If no further discussion, roll call?
Lynch?
Yes.
Urick?
Yes.
Watson?
Yes.
And the number
Okay.
on that,
That's
Chris?
8426.
Let me catch up with you here.
426. Now, Morgan will meet on all of these certified
Certified
resolutions. There is one thing we're still waiting on, is the average daily traffic count, which the county engineer has to provide us. That has been requested. But Kevin, as I've explained to Morgan, you can still take these to the engineer's office now, so we're well above that, in front of that September 4th date. And hopefully when you go there, they can give you those numbers to bring back, so that, we can complete the grant when they give us the permission to enter it into WorkWise. But right now, they do not want it entered yet till they give us the okay.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, the next, there's another one here, David. This is the one for Oak Knoll. Oak Knoll project is 147,220. We're requesting on the Oak Knoll project, again, 39%. And if you think about it, there's reasons it comes out to that percentage, because this is where we consider the sweet spot of a good chance of getting funded, particularly on what's really a small project based on the numbers that get submitted by the other communities, including Lorain County. And I think Lorain County just did at least 5 or 6 of them that they approved today. Several of them that they're using the $5 license plate permissive fee that they just put on in this past year to help provide the matching funds. But we'll actually be competing with them also, even though they help us in putting this together. So of that, we'll have $28,707 in grant, $28,707 in loan, and the balance of that will be paying in Amherst Township funds, which is the $89,806. And you've got the map in there as far as that location on Oak Knoll also, and that is going to be for address 440 through 446, and that one also includes the replacement of 2 catch basins. So I'm going to make a motion authorization to prepare and submit an application, participate in the Ohio Public Works Commission, OPWC, State Capital Improvement, Local Transportation Improvement Programs, and execute the contracts as required for the Oak Knoll Drive Concrete Project.
I will second. Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? If no further discussion, roll call.
Lynch?
Yes.
Gary?
Yes.
Swett?
Yes.
That's
One
page
moment,
5.
Neil. Let's see where we're at here.
Well, if we can go, since you're still on roads, David, even though it's stormwater, this is actually a result of this project, and we don't want to do one without the other, even though those catch basins need to be replaced. Realize the catch basin cost is much lower if we can include it as part of the road project. Plus, if we get funded, which we expect we will, since those funds for the stormwater mini grants tend to be a first come, first serve, we're allowed to apply for 2 max, with the maximum being $7,500 each, so $15,000. Well, to replace those catch basins, you've got to saw cut out that concrete. One of them you'll see in the photos if it shows up in black and white. The road crews pretty much replace the concrete with asphalt because of the undermining of the roads there. But, you know, if we do it as part of the road project, you're taking out those whole pads and also changing the culvert all at once. If we just have to do the culvert, you're bringing all the equipment down, smaller equipment, saw cutting that out, digging some of it out by hand, getting a less than full load of concrete coming in. It's just going to cost much more than the estimate here that's part of a road project. So we're hoping that our road project gets approved, and if that gets approved, then we'll say, yes, we're going to accept the mini grant. Otherwise, that's where the decision's going to have to be made at that point in time. Do we accept the mini grant? That will definitely be awarded if we don't get the road project, but realize costs will go up, or we say we're going to put that off to the next year and try and get it, or just take, instead of doing 2 projects, 2 road projects, just do one of them. But we'd have to use all township funds. We wouldn't be leveraging, other than the stormwater, any OPWC funds. But hopefully with the amount of loan we're asking for, those projects do get funded. So if you scroll through this, this is one resolution, but there are 2 different applications. In both of them, what we did is, since it's a 20% minimum match, we did just show that we're requesting the $7,500 and putting a 20% match. But if you look at the one for gray bark, and we highlighted it here, Amherst total match to the gray bark lane concrete project, which total project $104,930, consists of $96,890 of township funds, $7,500 of the mini grant. So we're contributing well more than the $1,875, but just to get the grant completed, it's easier just to put down the local dollars of the minimum 20%, and we just put a note there as far as how we determine that. I think the key is, when you look at these photos that Kevin took, I know you're aware of this, David, but Jeremy may not be. When Hidden Valley was first constructed at that time, instead of using precast catch basins, everything was brick and mortar.
I hate to cut in on you, but it's 7:30. I have to ask, as a formality, any other bids out there? I see no other bids out there. Okay, we have 1 bid already received for the truck.
Yeah, David, since there's nobody
And-
here,
Okay, that's...
Can we finish this one?
One moment, yes, as soon as I put a period at the end of the sentence. We have one bid noted as received. Okay, we will do our bid opening after this resolution.
Okay, if you take a look at Gray Bark, you can see where it's all pretty much asphalt, and you see the bricks falling in. So this will definitely be better putting the precast catch basins in, and this is a perfect example. You look at 131 Gray Bark. How do you put this in if we don't replace the whole road? You can see where then it's going to be costing more to cut this out. And then is Kevin going to cut across at least to the midpoint of the road, you know, to pour the, you know, to get rid of all this asphalt, which then in the future will end up tearing up when we do go in and do the longer piece of the project. So, and I guess that for the speed of the order to get through here, I'm not going to explain the other one since there doesn't seem to be an interest in this, so that we can go to the bid opening. So I'm going to make a motion of authorization for the application Lorraine County Stormwater District mini grant financial assistance for storm sewer system restoration and reduction of erosion and sediment.
Second. Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? If no further discussion, roll call.
Lynch?
Yes.
Euring?
Yes.
Watson?
Yes.
And that's 8-6, Chris?
That is 8-6.
And then could I get a copy of these also?
Yeah.
Certified copy for this resolution? For
Yep.
the-
I got all
Yeah, you
of them.
need them
cool.
all.
Or all three of them? Thank you.
Okay. Next item. That was 8-6. That was catch basins. Moment. Bid opening on the new truck. We've received the one bid. Go ahead and open that.
Sorry. Laptop's acting up. I'm guessing this is it. The quote, total price is $136,336.
136, 336.
He's got the list price, the member discount factor, the total discount, truck prep, transportation to Amherst, fuel, document fee, title fee, and that is that was the price.
Does it say what model year that is, Chris?
Brand new / unused Mack CRB 2025 Granite 42F VIN
So
number.
it's 2025.
Yep.
Year sooner than the one we turned down.
Yeah. Is there just the truck price in there and then fabrication, snow fighting fabrication?
There's a chassis list. Chassis list price.
I
136 would be the truck. And then is there another, no?
Uh, Nope.
Yeah. So you're aware, Kevin, I didn't call you, and I should have let you know. I think I copied you on the emails, but I know you're not going to have time to read through all these resolutions. I did put a resolution anticipating bids for the truck and also for outfitting it with the snow and ice package, but I had used the quote that Judco provided, which will be the state bid. So essentially we'll be using the state bid that you had obtained before, and that was late July, and he gives the State of Ohio term schedule number. So we should be okay to use that.
Okay.
Okay, but that was, and when we get to that, I don't want to blur, that was
Is it
just the
like
outfit is
install
130.
plow? Sorry,
Yeah.
Yes.
there's this sheet, but it doesn't, it's
What's it say?
Somerset welding and steel, length, width, body, sides, floor, tailgate, hydraulics, a plow, lights,
Oh, they
hitch,
do have one in there
rear.
then.
Yeah.
So that'll be another one?
That, yeah, that'd be
Okay.
Judco's work.
So this is
How much is that one?
$191,070.
The original Judco one was 137,350.
What was the last?
137,350. And that was
And this
on,
says total due all units. I don't know how to read this, so.
oh, Kevin's gonna be the one that ends up between Kevin and Morgan going through it to make sure that it complies, but I'm looking for their date. I know it was on here.
Is this something we may want to defer to next meeting, so we can scrutinize the figures on this?
No.
We know what the bid is right now?
No, let me tell you what I've got here, David, which I sent these out to you, is this is a resolution of authorization to award the bid and enter into a lease purchase agreement for a term not to exceed 7 years for a 2025 through 2027 model year Mack GR42F single-axis truck in accordance with specifications prepared by the Ohio Department of Transportation, state contract number DOT 023A26-4, index number 023A-26, contract ID number CTR 032214-A1. And then in the sections of this resolution, the first one is just authorizing Kevin to be the project management responsibility for the purchase of the truck. I had to put that range because that's what we bid it to, not knowing for certain what range would come in. It had to be a new truck, but we put a range of years that it could be. But it also gives him the flexibility of something that he wants to change of $5,000 or less he can do on his own, up to a maximum of $20,000. But the key is going to be Section 2, Amherst Township Administrator and Road Superintendent are authorized to evaluate the bids received for the Mack GR42F single-axis truck and are authorized to enter into and sign any documents required for the purchase of the Mack GR42F single-axis truck, substantially meeting and lists the state contract numbers again. So that's the real key, is they're going to sit down with this and make sure it complies. You know, similar to what we would do with the bid on the roads, but we send it over to the county engineer. The county engineer is not going to go over this truck for us. So that's something you'll look at, Kevin, and just run down the list. This is what was included in that state bid. So yes, it meets everything. And then the fiscal officer and road superintendent are authorized and directed to submit a purchase order for the Mack truck. The fiscal officer and the road superintendent are authorized and directed to submit the purchase order and sign any documentation required for a lease purchase agreement pursuant to Ohio Revised Code Section 505.267 at a term not to exceed 7 years for the purchase of the Mack single-axis truck. And the reason that's open, you know, maybe you want to go lower years, but we said up to 7, because that's where we saw when we had the last truck. We know the problem we ran into with that supplier when we were trying to get our truck here last year. But there's multiple different financial institutions that deal with public lease purchase. You know, the first one we'll check with is Huntington, since we deal with them, and they should be able to give us what their terms are. But there's multiple others that we can provide. I know I had provided some a couple of years ago that we received at the OTA conference that gave us some numbers. But there's several different financial institutions that will do this. But we will have to, in this case, Chris, since this isn't a fully outfitted truck, unless that reads that way, is we'll have to do the lease purchase on the truck and a lease purchase on outfitting a truck. But as soon as we have the truck, we'll have to get that started, but it can be delivered then to get the snow package put in place. Now, the advantage is, and I know, Jeremy, you had asked once before on the term, and I said the rates will actually be lower. Typically, they're lower because the financial institutions, when they're dealing with public agencies, that what they earn, both in the depreciation and the finance charge, it's exempt from federal taxes. So that's why they will offer us a lower rate than what the general public would get in a private dealing, because they aren't taxed on that.
Gotcha.
But I don't know what those rates are going to be right now. I know they'll be less than consumer rate. So it'll just be going to a couple of financial institutions and seeing what rates they have, and you can probably do that, Morgan, so that's, Kevin, you won't have to worry about the financing part. Okay?
Yeah, I'll go over that list with them, make sure everything's par with them.
Yeah.
M&K has
The
a
other thing-
finance vehicle, finance application in here.
There is one, and that's the other thing, you can check with them directly too and see what it is, as long as we don't make a commitment till we have a little comparison. Okay? Chris just said they've got a finance application in there. Okay. So anyway, that's my motion.
Second.
Okay, hold on a second, let me catch up with you.
Oh. Did we go back to regular meeting from the bid opening, or did we not have to leave the regular meeting?
We didn't, we just noted that it was bid opening at 7:30.
Got it. Okay,
It
so
wasn't
now
like
we
a
are
recess.
authorizing the lease purchase for the 2025 truck, right?
Okay,
Six, that is 87. Not with Judco.
Yeah, we can probably just cross out, if you want, Chris, I can send you a clean copy, but
Yeah, I just need to switch these around because I had Judco first for some reason. Lynch made that.
Watson's, okay, motion been made and seconded, any further discussion
David,
on this?
Did you second it?
On this? All right,
David, did you second it?
no, Watson,
Okay.
Jeremy did.
Thank you.
Jeremy did. Looking at, wait a minute, Neil, we need to, note what the, bid price was. 136, 336.
well, we can put it on there, but it's, if we've only got one bid, and it's got on there that Kevin needs to check this first to make sure it meets the specification.
Okay. All right. Okay. Bid, okay. Board. Okay, motion been made and seconded, no further discussion. Let's call roll call.
Lynch?
Yes.
Watson?
Yes.
Yuri?
Yes.
And then what I probably want to do, David, the one here for the snowplow package, we may want to put that off till the next meeting, Kevin. You won't have the truck before then anyway, because I wasn't aware that there'd also be a bid for that coming in. We may want to compare these. Now, this one specifically awards it to Judco.
Right. That's a huge difference.
Yeah, it's a big difference. I mean, unless this one from Judco is still good, and that's what I'm not sure. If it's still good, I'd much rather go with Judco.
Yeah.
I think, Chris, you read 191 versus Judco is 137,
If I'm reading that correctly, yes.
That's a state quote on Judco.
Right.
Yes. That quote right there would be from the fabrication close to M&K and around Pittsburgh area.
Yep.
Do you want us to pass this? Because I'm not sure how good, it doesn't have on here how long this is good for, and if it's per state bid, it's gonna be per their specifications, and I don't know if the snow packages are on the same timeline as the vehicles. It might be different timelines.
I could check with Rob tomorrow if he's still good with this, you know, as in that package, and
This
then,
is number of units too.
sorry?
This says number of units too.
For the snow package?
Yeah.
There's only one.
And because it's got a price for the 95,000, and then the total, all units, 191, which is double the $95,535. So I don't know.
How about we'll hold off then till you have a chance to look at it?
Yeah,
Number of
That'd be
units
best.
too.
because I could talk to Judco and I can make sure. Because I know they had 2 dump trucks, and maybe things got messed around and their fabrication gave bid for both trucks. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I'd
you
rather
want to
have
make
you
sure
look
it
at this stuff.
includes everything that's on the state bid too, even, you know, like Judco, we know is a state bid.
Yeah,
I don't know what they sent in with the snow package there. Because the bid was only for the truck.
correct.
Weird that it says 2 and they're the exact same number, and well, it might be 90,000, but
Now, we'll hold off on this then, and,
better to know.
yeah.
Because if it's the 90,000, then that's the better price.
Yeah,
Yeah.
95,000.
And maybe make sure that as of, let's see, it'll be August 25th is our next meeting, that this price is still good through that, because that'd be the soonest we pass it then.
yeah.
Okay?
No
Right.
other bids came in, probably because there's no other trucks. That's what I've heard. No, there's no other
Okay, so
trucks
that's
around that are available
For
for
the-
like
Okay.
2 years.
Well, that's where we were having trouble with the last one, you know, with, I mean, that whole deal. With, heck, they just had in the news that the new lead time for the fire vehicles is 4 years. Remember, ours was 38 months, so just a little over 3 years. It's gone up another whole year. I don't know why, but
Can't make them fast enough.
imagine having a plan for 4 years out,
Yeah.
not knowing what you're...
Now, with Mac, you have to plan out 2 years now, as of today. You get
Okay, so Judco's going to the next.
Okay,
So
well, I'll
Judco will
update
defer.
that base, we'll talk, and I'll have that, David, I'll have a resolution for the next meeting, depending upon whatever Kevin finds out here, okay?
So we took care of that. We agreed to purchase that truck pending everything checking out. Accept the bid. Now, next item on it, you have
Oberlin Road.
an Oberlin Road petition.
Yes, is that the order you want to go in?
And that's what I got listed, Road, Parks and Cemetery. Listed.
Yeah, what this is, a petition to establish sections of Oberlin Road as part of the county system of road pursuant to the Ohio Revised Code Section 5553.04. And Chris, I do have the original petition here for you, since that has to be turned in to the clerk of the Board of Commissioners. The petition defines the termini for the section of Oberlin Road, one being approximately a mile from State Route 113 to Middle Ridge. The other one being 2 miles from Middle Ridge to North Ridge. The statute requires the petition to have the signatures of at least 12 freeholders in the township that live in the area. We've actually gone considerably more than that since we got people on both sections of Overland Road to sign this, even though it's all one petition. As we pointed out in the past, is that this will save the township annually between $90,000 and $120,000. And the way that was determined was the different funding that we've used for the road maintenance on the different sections, and Kevin had all the estimates for plowing and salting and berming and ditching and roadside mowing. So all of that was included. The biggest cost, obviously, is the when we have to resurface the road and the milling, but that was averaged out, and I'd have to look back at this if that was 12 or 15 years that we used. That's been presented at a previous meeting. I'm sure if I can read this fine print, it will be on the spreadsheet here. But in any case, the variation that is really dependent upon the grants we receive. It probably would be higher than that, but we did have, for one of the sections, we received those Ohio Turnpike Mitigation Funds. That was a temporary program, so that program has ended. So those available funds aren't even around for us anymore. So I guess, and the reality is, we already signed the maintenance agreement because the discussion we've had with the county engineer when they discussed what we would have to do to get the responsibility for the road changed, was that they wanted us to take over the winter maintenance of Sandstone Parkway, because we will have all single axle trucks. They use some of the tandem axle trucks, which are larger trucks, a little more difficult to maneuver around those roundouts that are there. But they also, with the larger dump, can carry more salt, so they'll go ahead and take over the full complete maintenance of Overland Road. As far as the petition, you can see we've got copies. The engineer's office went back to check, and in 1945, so at the time when World War II was ending, the trustees at the time, and I don't know if you can read these names, one looks like Hemserling, the other one Merchant.
Heiserling.
Okay, and then the other one is at FACH. Those were the trustees that had signed it, in addition to 7 other property owners, and that's when they had turned over the section of Overland Road from 113 South to the New Russia Township line. So we already have the southern section of Overland Road all the way up to the city of Overland, so to speak, is really right now already the county's responsibility. So it'll be the county commissioner's decision to take this over, but it'll be at the recommendation of the Lorraine County engineer. And I've worked with the county engineer as far as what do we have to do to get this done. As David, you and Jeremy are aware, since the county's also approached us on a TIF on the commercial section on Sandstone, I was trying to avoid doing this. It was one of the requirements. We said, okay, then we shouldn't have to go out and get this petition, but I don't know where they are on that TIF. They haven't come back, and I just didn't want to wait where this gets delayed. Since we already agreed to the winter maintenance on Sandstone Parkway, we don't want Kevin and Russ to be taking care of Sandstone Parkway and also Overland Road. It's either or. So if we get this through, the county takes it over. Now when we come into this winter, it'll be pretty clean who's doing what road. So that's the motion I'm going to make as prepared here.
I'll second.
Okay, motion been made and seconded. I see you filled this out, and it references 5530. Let me see here. 555304, and looking at that, that appears to be petition has to be filed with the commissioners, not with the township, and I don't know why the township is getting involved. I just don't know as far as that goes with the petition, and passing a resolution.
Well, I can explain that if you want me to.
Well, what is that, Neil, then, if you want to explain it?
Well, I looked at what happened in 1945, and the trustees at that time supported it. I would think that anything going before the Board of County Commissioners, they got to make a decision on whether they accept the road or not. I think it carries considerably more weight if they know the elected leaders of the community where the petition came from are also supporting it. In this case, David, you didn't sign the petition, but we had two trustees, so I hope you do support this because it just makes sense for our residents. But that's why we're doing it, to show we support it too. I know at the time when I talked with the county engineer, I pointed out we don't even require a petition. The Board of County Commissioners could actually take over Overland Road on their own. As a matter of fact, there's been a Supreme Court ruling, I don't have the citation here today, because other townships filing against their commissioners were upset the commissioners by default turned the roads over to the township, and guess what? Township has to maintain them, because the way the statute that's cited here reads is that the state determines what routes they're taking care of, the county determines what routes they're taking care of, and guess what? Whatever's left over is on the township. So the county can switch a road back to us anytime they want without our approval. So I just think it carries more weight if they see it's coming from the township that, hey, we support this. Who knows? Maybe you got 12 residents that hate 3 people sitting up here or don't think you are taking care of the road, so they're going to say, hey, we're going to ask the Board of Commissioners to take care of it because the township's not. And maybe the township disagrees for some reason. I don't know why they would, but they might. So that's the only reason, David, to show that we do support these residents in taking this over, and it just makes sense. That seem logical?
Well, I think we're getting involved in something that we don't need to be, but anyway, that was my question on that.
Okay, and I
As
think
far
I
as the
explained the
petition goes
logic.
to the county commissioners, and I feel that goes there, and why we're getting dragged in as a board, I don't know, but, my question is, county takes over the road, we have to be happy with what they say, as far as, how the road's maintained, more so than us.
Well, if you got
and
a
the-
problem with the way the county maintains roads, are you saying you want to take over Middle Ridge Road? You want to take over Pile South Amherst? You want to take over Quarry? You want to take over West Ridge? I mean, we've had this debate before, David. You asked me, with my logic, why aren't we giving up Stang Road? I said, I'd love to do that. But the county engineers told me they won't do that because every other township's going to want to give up their road and say it's all on the county and the county engineer. The other thing that makes sense here is with that $5 permissive license plate fee that we all have to pay on every vehicle we have, every trailer that you carry, every boat that you have, the county engineer has now additional funds that they can use to leverage other funds to take care of roads that we do not have available unless you decide you want to levy a permissive tax on our residents, David. And I don't think we want to get into that. So to me, it makes more sense. And if I could get them to take another road, I would certainly encourage that. But I know they won't. The reason they're willing to do this one is because, and they said before, that they wouldn't even consider it till that Sandstone Parkway interconnected 58 and Overland Road, which is the first new county road they've taken over in over 50 years. So that's the logic, but there's been a motion and second. I'm done discussing it.
Okay.
I'm used to dealing with logic.
Okay, I think my concern is that they'll over-widen it and turn it into a speed trap. But that's my thoughts. Anyway, no further discussion. Roll call?
Lynch,
Yes.
Watson,
Yes.
Urick.
No.
And the number on that, Chris?
Is 88.
8-26. Okay, Chris.
Now where
I'm
are
going
we
to give
here?
you the original petition because this will have to be filed with Teresa Upton, the clerk for the board, along with a certified copy of the resolution.
Thank you.
And Kevin, you probably just got another $90,000 to $100,000 a year to put towards roads once this gets done.
I like that.
Yeah, heck, we just approved in two things, you're gonna spend that much if we get approved in our own funds down in Hidden Valley, do little short pieces of concrete.
You know, all our other main roads over these past years that I've been here, we've only been able to afford an inch and a half off and an inch
Right.
and a half on. And 11 years ago, this section was done. 10 years ago, that section of the turnpike to 113 was done, and that was 3 inches, which is the permanent, which is the long run. But like just for crack sealing right now, which needs to be done,
I think you had, what was it, $23,000 or $26,000 for crack sealing just on Oberlin?
correct?
It's like $250 a foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it definitely needs to be done.
You know, in the span, if you go another 10 years, iffy, but with all this truck traffic that's been happening, wow.
Well, it's the main route for the Republic trucks to get to Lorraine.
Yeah. Oh, the sand, or the salt for the turnpike, them trucks are rolling, let alone all the construction. Just going from Lorraine to Oberlin, or, you know, past Oberlin, we're running this route.
Okay.
Can I ask a question while we're on the road thing? Just kind of a general question. How do I identify township roads versus county roads in the township?
I'll get you the county engineer's map, will show it based on a color coding, and then Morgan, I can email my copy, but you have a copy of the listing of the roads. We had some time ago, Jeremy, we took, trying to predict and plan for cost, took all of our township roads, we've got them listed in the spreadsheet, what type of road is, if it's going to be asphalt, concrete, or crack seal type road. We got the width of the road, the length of the road, when it was last done with a major resurfacing that's in there. And then we take those costs each time we get a new bid, and we put on whatever the inflation was per that certain time to come up with what is current price, so we could see what would it cost us to do any particular road in terms of replacement. But you can get that list, but the easiest thing, as long as you can distinguish the colors, is with the county engineer's map. He has them all color coded on there.
Okay.
So that would tell you quickly. But you might want to see the spreadsheet also, just so you have a feel for what it costs to do that.
Okay. Just something I'd be interested in long term, and I'm sure the county would be different than township roads, but some of these communities, like if you go over on Sunnyside Road, right where it hits Route 6, it's this beautiful wide asphalt road. They have this nice bike lane on there. Everything's nice and smooth. You get into Oberlin, the nice bike lanes.
You're going to see this here and when you read through this, and some of those also are where they're giving what they call the road diets that are on there, and that usually is where they've had access to some of these NOACA funds.
There's NOACA grants.
Many of them are NOACA grants.
Okay.
It's the same thing if you go, though it's been many years up in Sheffield, Avon Lake, and here it'll show their long-term planning of what they've got for the roads that they hope to put those lanes on.
Okay.
My preference, though, is usually that you have a separation, that it's not part of the road as a biker, because I don't like riding on the same one. They tend to come over, you know, unless they put a rumble strip all the way along, which they don't, those vehicles still consider that their lane. Elyria went through their road diet. If you go right down through the center of town, and they've got they've got
I
a
saw
lane
that,
that's
yeah.
bicycling. But, you know, I always like it when there's land separating me from vehicles.
Ideally, but yeah, if nothing else, it'd just be nice.
Yeah, I got
just to have
2-3
some-
tons
even for
coming at me.
pedestrians. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, we've
Okay.
covered
Thank you.
that item. Anything more under road, parks, and cemetery, Kevin?
No, sir.
Senior Services Township Administrator Orozco.
Hello again. I do have a couple classes that I have to take. Those are coming up. I have one on Friday, which I'll be in the office for. I do have an OSHIP class that I'm taking August 18th in Rocky River, so I will be out of the office for a couple hours. That's for Medicare open enrollment that starts in October. It's a refresher course for me. And then I did send a follow-up email to Jessica Renner. She does for the NOPEC grants for the NEC. I haven't heard nothing back about the reimbursement, but she's on vacation until the 13th. So I'm assuming when she gets back, we'll hear something either Friday or next week. And that's all I got.
Right, thank you. Next item on the agenda, trustee reports. Jeremy, do you have anything to bring forward?
Just a few things. I'm doing a little follow-up. I'm going to try this Girl Scout troop for that idea of something in the park where we can have like just a little, not even a shed, but just a little like 5x5 kind of thing where you could put some frisbees and balls and stuff on it. So I saw that they had done a project like that, so I'm reaching out to them to try to follow up on that. And then the trails program, I know we have it in your list here. Really love that concept, working with the Metro Park, so hopefully we can make some contact and make some progress on that for some bike lanes coming through town. And then I did have another good conversation with Justin Lichter with IRG, just trying to start talking more about some potential conservation projects over there, and just working to identify other potential land in the township that might be in risk of future development that we could potentially do some conservation projects on.
Okay, anything else, Jeremy?
Nope.
Neil, do you have anything to bring forward under your reports?
I do, David. First one, the Quarry Creek Drainage Project is between the county prosecutor and Soil and Water Conservation are still working on the easements. I've been in contact with the prosecutor's office, gave what I would hope is the final markup, gave it for one particular property owner. She then wanted to know how many are in there, and I sent that information back to the prosecutor and Andy Cooksey. The prosecutor's office is Kathy Brawlis. But the way I see it, there are 5 for sure we need to have an easement from. And then on the east and western extents of the project may need those. Andy got back to me, it was either yesterday or today, I think it was yesterday, that he may have to add one to the east, but not necessarily the west. And the one on the east is Deb Rack. And I know Deb will sign it because she was one of the ones complaining about the problem. It was just that because of the elevation where the drainage is, it didn't go quite as far as it would drain her property, but it didn't appear that the piping would go across her property. I was just concerned it came right up to her property. They might have to get equipment over there, so they may want an easement. It appears that from Andy's correspondence, they may do that, but I'll have to wait till he and the prosecutor give a definite decision. Once they get those, I'll get out to the different property owners to have those easements signed. Prosecutor's office, as far as I know, hasn't responded with anything specific in terms of one of the property owners, since the property owners are providing the matching funds, wanted to know if they could have it assessed on their property tax or make payments. And there are 2 options that the Stormwater District Director, Don Romankek, has provided, but I don't know what they've decided yet, and hopefully they get something soon so we can let that property owner know. Kevin, I don't know, has Dennis Concrete given any idea of when they'll be in?
I'm meeting with Todd on Thursday, but it's going to be a couple of weeks. They're super busy, but I'm going to meet with him and go over the project on Thursday sometime.
Okay. And we've already done the Round 21 grant, so we don't have to go over that anymore. We did the stormwater grant, so that's good. The chip and seal, I know, Kevin, I don't know if you reported, did Griffith Paving take care of the sub-base repair?
Yes, they did.
So that's all done, so you're all set to go for when, was it Melway comes
Melway.
in, they can go ahead and get things done, great. All right, plow truck, we already passed those resolutions, and the one for outfitting, we'll prepare something for next meeting. Okay, for Golden Acres, there was another meeting between multiple different political jurisdictions that are involved in this, where we know there's an interested developer. We know the developer's shown a sketch plan of what they intend to use. They provided an offer to Lorraine County Port Authority, still a tenuous project, because unless the developer and the Port Authority meet terms, there's really nothing further that can happen on this. It's in the Port Authority's ownership. I feel that based on discussions I've had with different entities there, since one of the other items that they'd be looking at for the developer to develop what they want and donate the property is going to require a zoning amendment for Amherst Township. And from what I can see, the only one we'd have that I feel comfortable with would be with the conservation development. I wouldn't want to put the multifamily in, even though that kind of fits what they have, because then you're concerned if somebody else goes for it, you know, what they might put in. Next thing you know, you've got multi-story apartments. I like what they're looking at as townhomes that are single family and sold, so the individual, there's an owner-occupied home there versus a rental home. If they were rental townhomes, I wouldn't be necessarily opposed, but I just don't want to see multi-story apartments there. The next meeting, originally they told us there was going to be September 3rd, but I'm sure you guys have seen the meeting notice. It's actually September 10th. So it will be a Thursday, but September 10th at 2 o'clock. But I did prepare a resolution here that we could then provide to that group. It's not making a commitment, so to speak, yet, because they still would have to go through a zoning amendment. But if they know the trustees are supporting it, that at least gives confidence in there that this can occur. So this is a resolution support for a zoning amendment on the former Golden Acre property to establish an active recreation open space system with trails which preserves the natural areas along the streams and creeks. And Jeremy, you asked about the certain areas. If you look at our comprehensive land use zoning plan, it does identify some areas. Some we've already lost, but some we have been able to conserve. We've actually added 3.5 acres onto the Middle Ridge Road Park. When we had the Copper Creek, I forget how many acres were left there, were conserved with walking paths. And when Stratton Corners is constructed, I think you were part of those discussions where we wanted a trail through the wooded section, but we want them to be able to connect, even though the current developer doesn't own the 95 acres to the south. We want to make sure those connect, so knowing that will eventually develop, that whatever goes in there will still also have access, and hopefully they conserve some of their area if they choose conservation development. We just, that's outside our control somewhat. But this I copied directly out of our comprehensive plan as far as that wording. So I'm not going to go through all the various whereases, but it's just consistent with the Amherst Township Comprehensive Zoning Plan. The trustees support the Amherst Township zoning map amendment that would allow a 38-unit residential development on a former Golden Acre properties, and it lists the permanent parcel numbers there. If such an amendment resulted in an approximate 30-acre Lorraine County Metro Parks Park in Amherst Township in the city of Amherst. Further, the trustees support developing such a park with walking and biking trails that link the 150-unit Amherst Village Estates Manufactured Home Park on North Dewey, the 174-unit Quarry Creek Townhouse Project on North Dewey, the approximate 80-unit Ridgeland Heights subdivision, the 113-unit Rock Creek Run subdivision, an 810-unit Hidden Valley subdivision, downtown Amherst, and Amherst Exempted Village Schools, Marinell Steele, and Walter G. Nord, and the rest is boilerplate. So all this, it kind of makes it conditional. We'll support it if then. So, we're not going to support a change unless we know there's something ironclad that we're going to end up with a park there with future trails that will link all these different subdivisions and commercial areas. So I'm going to make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Discussion. Any discussion on that, Jeremy?
Nothing further. Yeah, we've been over and over and over it, and I think it's a good compromise. I think it's a good way to get a good chunk of land into the Metro Park's hand and something that the community's going to be able to enjoy. I think it's a good give and take.
Anything further to add, Neil? You haven't added in your...
Other than at the next meeting on September 10th, is the developer is to provide the metes and bounds of exactly what area he's developing, what would be donated to the Metro Parks. The Port Authority is supposed to come back with what their board's feelings are in terms of the sale, since they're the ones actually seeing the offer in terms of the sale price. And then the Metro Park, specifically Jim Zemanek, is to give a sketched out plan of what the trail interconnect would look like. And that trail, realize he's just going to probably initially just have it for the Golden Acre parcel, but eventually we're hoping that it would go in phases so that the township can see more of a benefit, particularly if we can interconnect Hidden Valley. Because if you listen to most of those developments I mentioned, even though this property's in the township, the real beneficiaries in terms of users, which will tend to be more of the local people, are predominantly City of Amherst residents that are there. So, and we just had from NWAC, as I pointed out to Jeremy earlier, they've got a new pilot program, Transportation for Safer Community Initiative projects that supports safety improvements and launch a bike map app. Well, this may be just like, if you recall, the Transportation for Livable Communities grant. When NWACA started that, it was brand new, we found out. We used that grant to help go through with the, offset some of the costs we had for our zoning change that resulted in the State Route 58 corridor study and the mixed-use zoning districts. So it's, this may be another opportunity to get in there. And if you recall, Commissioner Gallagher kept saying he wants a plan to include in the NWACA plan for the biking and walking trails. So that's it as far as on the Golden Acres in this resolution, David.
So what happens if this resolution doesn't pass, What if we wouldn't pass this resolution? What if it failed? What would happen? What would happen to the property?
Well, there's a good chance if it failed, the developer would probably walk away because they would expect the odds of getting that rezone to a conservation development or some other zoning to support what he's willing to put in and donate the rest to become a park, he would just walk. Why go through that? So the property would be left there if that's what you're saying, but it would be a property that nobody has access to. We want to make sure, and that's why we want to work with the Metro Parks, that it's not just a beautiful nature area, but it's an area that people can get to and get to safely. And we also would prefer that there not be an over road crossing over North Ridge, and that's why it may require...
Something that could be done in the future?
Maybe not, or it's an opportunity you could lose forever.
How could you lose it, though?
What do you mean? One person could buy it and say, I want this whole thing for myself. I'm the mega millionaire. I'm going to put one home down there, and it's my property. You can't use it.
You think that would happen, though?
Well, why are you asking these questions? You see something else in the horizon right now, David? Sometimes an opportunity steps right in front of you, and you've got to seize that opportunity for the better of your community. The other thing is, do nothing. Continue to do nothing, and you'll always have what you have, or you're going to start losing things to other people. There are too many other entities that have to make some sort of concession or agreement here for this to even happen. You know, I didn't realize that something like this could become contentious, David.
I mean, I gotta look at it, Neil, and I gotta see, you got trails, and those trails are gonna cost us 38 more units. That's what I see. That's what I see. You know, that's a novel approach, and, you know, if that's the way you wanna go, I mean, if that's the philosophy you want, but you're not just creating a development, to me, you're talking yourself into making a development when maybe you don't have to. I mean, it's a nice place for trails and whatnot, but I don't think that bottom line is going anywhere. It's basically unbuildable. So you really, to conserve that, you're conserving the conserved. And if there was some way to conserve the whole property, I would be for that. But, you know, that's why I say, I think we're talking ourselves into a development. That's what I think we're doing. 38 units. We're gonna do this, and we're gonna pay for it with 38 more units. That's what I'm talking about. 38 more units of housing.
So what do you think the property is going to be used for, David?
Well, right now, it's open space. I got no problem with that. If there's a way to find...
Can you use it? Have you been down there? Can a kid ride a bike through it?
No one's opened up the property. The county hasn't opened it up.
Can any adult? Well,
Not the county.
Port Authority owns it. Port Authority wants to sell it to the highest
bidder.
offer. Yeah, and right now you've got one. You've got one, so you've got an opportunity. When did Golden Acres cease operation?
What's it? About 10 years, at least.
Over 10 years. Yeah, how
But
many?
anyway, Neil.
Do you remember when I approached the county commissioners at the time to have that whole area, other than the front half, that was definitely valuable for commercial, tried to get the whole area as a park. Are you aware of that? I know we've discussed it.
Yeah.
Okay, and you remember the county commissioners took it to the Metro Parks. Remember what the Metro Parks answer was? They wouldn't even take it if it was given them to them for free with that building on there, because that building was a liability. How much did the commissioners pay to have that building torn down? Over $300,000. Oh, no, it was $300,000 to get it repaired. Let's see, the bid price, which was for A1 land development to tear it down, $238,500. That's what they paid to have it torn down. That was after the previous boards paid to have new air conditioning put on there because they thought it was going to be a drug rehab building.
But
So,
you've got green space there right now, and it's... Like I
But-
say, you're gonna lose that,
You're
and it's
not
gonna
going to
cost
lose
you,
it.
it's gonna cost you 38 units to build those trails. That's what it's gonna cost.
You're
You
gonna
say
have-
there's no monetary cost, no, but there's an intrinsic cost, and the
how much
intrinsic
money does the
cost,
township earn off of that property today, David? How much money is the township receiving for that property today?
county property.
So how much money do we receive? It's a simple
Yeah,
answer,
that's nice.
David. Zero.
You
Zero.
see zero, Neil.
Do you remember when we had to send the ambulance over there on a snow day? Who paid for that? First responders went out. Amherst Township paid for it. So our residents paid for something and we have zero money coming in to support it. If we get this into this private hands, now we're going to get revenue off of it other than the portion that gets back to Metro Parks. And now you'll put in real trails that I don't care if somebody's, elderly or young, they can all use it and connect all these different areas. But there are so many people between the Port Authority, the developer. The city of Amherst has to agree to provide water, provide sewer, provide access, since North Ridge is their piece. And North Ridge is not the prime place where you're going to put up 1 acre lots with 125-foot frontage. Metro Parks has to agree to take this. They have to agree to put trails in. Community development needs to help us on this because there will be multiple grants that will be applied for. I mean, I don't get it. What your objection is. We're talking about an open space that will make available to our residents and also in partnership with the city of Amherst. I mean, this, to me, would be a beautiful operation that we have that right now people can't use. They can't get in there. So,
What I see is that it's open space right now, and keeping it as open space right now doesn't preclude doing something at a later date. To do the project that you're talking about, it's going to need 38 units of housing. You're going to lose that the green space on the top there, and I question the cost. I question that cost. And I step back and I look at it. It's less about conservation. It's more about, it's a development project. That's what it is. We take a piece of green space, we put
There's
houses
an
in one spot, and then we take some lowlands, we put some trails through it, boom, boom. Something that's open space now is now trailed, stream bed, and housing. That's what it is.
So you
okay,
want-
that's what I see it. That's the way I see it, Neil. And I think we could be here all night, and I'm still going to see it that way, and you're still going to see it your way.
well, that's okay. You obviously do not want to see humankind advance and more population, that's for sure.
I
David.
don't think that. I'm not against throwing gasoline on fire. All right.
Okay.
I am against that.
Okay.
I said I'm not against.
You're against
I
it?
am against throwing gasoline on fire. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. All right.
If
All
this
right.
gets done, David,
I'm going to call
15
roll.
years from now, I want to see anybody that goes down there and says, this was a bad decision those trustees made. I don't think you'll find anybody to say that in the future.
I still say you're making a development project.
All right.
out of it. Anyway, it's more than meets the eye. It's a development project. Anyway, okay. Motion's been made, seconded. It's been gummed to death. Let's have roll call.
Lynch,
Yes.
Watson,
Yes.
Urick.
No.
That's 8-9, Chris?
8-9.
And Chris, if I could have a certified copy of this, and I did have a prepared letter, and David, I did put your name down on it, but I assume you don't want to sign it, right?
What does the letter say? Hold on.
It's attached to the resolution.
There's some of it. Now, if it talks about rezoning, not that, yeah, probably not gonna sign it. But as far as putting trails in, somebody wants to put a trail in, without costing us 38 units, I got no problem.
Well, this
But-
one does say, if you look at that last paragraph, it starts, let's go to the last two. Consistent with the Amherst Township Comprehensive Zoning Plan, the Amherst Township Board of Trustees supports an Amherst Township zoning map amendment that would allow a 38-unit residential development on the former Golden Acres property if such amendment resulted in an approximate 30-acre Lorraine County Metro Park in Amherst Township in the city of Amherst. But realize the city of Amherst also has to donate, I think it's like 2.4 acres that they currently have, and the Board of Commissioners, I think it's 1.5 or something like that. Further, the trustees support developing such park with walking and biking trails that link to multiple residential subdivisions in Amherst Township in the city of Amherst, downtown Amherst, the State Route 58 Business Corridor, and the Amherst Exempted Village School District, Maryknoll Steele High School, and Walter G. Nord School. So your support of the new Lorraine County Metro Parks with walking, biking trails, along with support of various funding sources to develop a park with accessible walking, biking trails would be greatly appreciated. This is addressed to Commissioner Marty Gallagher because he was the one that said at a Lorraine County Township Association spring meeting, let me know if your township wants trails. He now represents the Board of Commissioners at Nowaka. He does not want to be in a position where he goes in to support these trails and the township then comes against them. So that's why this letter of support, copies to all the individuals that are attending the meetings on here. So I'll leave it up to you if you sign it, but I do have a clean copy here for signature tonight, David.
All right. Trustee
Hang on a
Reed,
second.
you have something more, Neil? Do you have a copy of that, your report?
I emailed it to you.
We didn't get a hard copy? Okay.
I can run a hard copy if you want it, but I emailed it to you.
All right. I'm used to having a hard copy. Go ahead.
Probably be bringing one, and I'll leave it up to you, Jeremy, if you want to try and do one yourself, or if you want me to do it, because I want to tie it to our comprehensive plan, is Jeremy's going to be spearheading on behalf of the township, and I realize this is a sensitive thing with some people, but the trying to get the multimodal transportation along the Lakeshore Railway Association's Lorraine and West Virginia line. And if you recall, when we did the rezoning and to be consistent with our comprehensive plan, we wanted that whole section over there between the State Route 58, the Turnpike, and Lakeshore Railway to all be multimodal transportation district that would interconnect this, so that, you know, everything isn't just by car. And for me, if we can get this from Amherst Township all the way down the fairgrounds, would be lovely. It'd be nice if it can be tied in with some of the other trails, but it's going to be a long slug, and I expect, I'm losing my voice, I need some coffee. Jeremy, some of it is because of age and youth and energy. I think it's something, you know, you'll find out, just like we've done with Golden Acres for multiple years now, beating your head against the wall, because it was 2013 when I tried to get that as a full park. So here we are 13 years later, and that's why I'm excited. We've got an opportunity now that might push it over the edge, and I don't want to lose this opportunity, because another 13 years I might not be walking this earth. And I'd certainly like to have the opportunity to walk through Golden Acres with a nice pathway down there. But if Jeremy, if you can either try and do it or I'll do one, it'll be very similar to the Golden Acres one, but there's a different section in our comprehensive plan talking about that railway. But that'll be at the next meeting, because I didn't have time for this one. Also, Foundation Health Solutions for the Sandstone Crossing Nursing Home, their official groundbreaking will be on Thursday, August 13th at 2 o'clock, if you can be there. Stratton Corners, Kevin attended the proof roll on August 4th. If you recall, the previous proof roll on July 17th, it failed, so they had to go through the various soil stabilization methods. This time Kevin said it was beautiful, everything worked fine, so they're set to go. It's a matter of, I think they still have to come back to the township for a final site plan review. And then Morgan, for you, is following up with NOPEC. I don't know if the tree down at Moss Canyon there at the end, if that's been taken down yet.
Nope, not yet. I already talked to Kevin about it.
All right, well, just stay on top of that, because these are the things that can come through, and we need to know when they come through, because, you know, like if they just bill Chris and she's not aware of it, we need to know to turn that in for the reimbursement of that $2,800 quote. And that's it, David. That's the end of my report.
Okay. I have nothing at this time to bring forward under reports. Complaints and corrective action, do we have anything under that?
Just a brief follow-up. We spent some time with the Rice Road issue. I did follow up with a contact at the Sheriff Department and had a discussion with the Fire Department, and it's all in the works to get that resolved. But I have not heard anything in the last 5-6 days, so I don't know if it's resolved or still ongoing.
I don't know if they cleaned up the place or not.
Yeah, I haven't been back by there.
That's what it should be. So that's the update on that. Anything else? see what we have here. I have nothing further on unfinished or new business. Our next regular meeting is August 25th, 2026 at 7 p.m. The Amherst Township Hall. Work sessions as needed. We will be having a special meeting when we decide which day to have it. Each day is open for us. That'll be a special meeting for an executive session to meet with the legal counsel. Aside from that, our next regular meeting is August 25th at 7 p.m. No further audience concerns. One last call. Anything else to come before the board? Nothing else to come before the board. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second? I'll second.
Lynch,
Yes.
Euring,
Yes.
Watson.
Yes.
Okay, meeting adjourned.